goodness. Hello. I hope everybody is doing well. Happy Wednesday. I am so sorry to be a few minutes late. Again, it is technology. I don't know what it is right now. It's in the air, but I am here. Hey, Connor, how are you doing? Oh my goodness, he won the wine glass. Oh my goodness, from the last Monday evening. So I will be sending it to you. Okay. So be looking in the mail. And if you don't mind, Connor, taking that picture with it and sending it to me would be awesome. And Julie, I know that you've already won a wine glass, so both of you can kind of cheer together. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, Monday night I have a wine and spirit show. And anybody that shares the page, they get into a drawing to win a free wine glass that says "Cheers to Spirit." And so Connor was able to win, or won this week, and not able to win, but he actually won. It was his lucky day. But no, I really appreciate it when everybody shares a page. I'm glad that I'm able to do that. So congratulations, Connor. Thank you so much for being such a wonderful support. All right. So tonight, what we're going to do is we're going to be talking about spirit guides. So I hope that you learned something new tonight. I know that I did. Anytime I do, the research on it, I really learn a lot. And, when you go through the spiritual process, your journey, you learn so much along the way. And then you think, oh, I've learned. No. Okay. So if you've learned it all, then you're not learning. Let's just put it that way, right? So if you are new to the show, my name is Michelle Henderson and I'm a psychic medium in the Dallas area. And every Wednesday we come together and I do some research and talk about a topic. And so if y'all have any questions along the way or you want to comment, definitely comment along the way, okay? So let's go ahead and get started. Now, I know everybody it's really hard to talk about spirit guides, especially if, you're not in the spiritual business and everything, but it's a really, I don't know how you can get through not knowing what a spirit guide is. It's almost like having a best friend that kind of nudges you along the way of your spiritual journey. And it's an awesome thing that the divine has given us. So I found a definition. It says a spirit guide, and it's in Western spiritualism. It's an entity that remains as a disconnect incarnate spirit, I cannot pronounce it, to act as a guide or protector to a living incarnated human being. And when I found that, I thought, yeah, they are a protector, but they are also, like I said, a best friend, a friend that gets you going on the right track. They can't tell you which journey to go on because that is totally up to you, right? So they're there for the support. And a lot of times they may, go ahead and protect you as well. But here are the 5 types of spirit guides. And this really surprised me. This is from Teal Swan. And so whenever I looked at it, there were a couple of them I had never heard of before. And I'm going, I would have never thought about that. But let's go ahead and get started. So the first one, you have the light body, okay? Ascended masters and angels. So they have a lot of very high frequency vibration, just lots of it, right? So as a person, if you have the high vibration, that's one thing that you're going to attract is this type of spirit guide. Not everybody has the same type of spirit guide. That's the one thing because everybody's on a different journey, right? And so what these spirit guides are, because their vibration is so high, your vibration has to be almost just as high so that you can connect, right? And so really it's matched with the people who involves reaching higher frequencies or need to go to different spiritual planes. And they are a lot of times healers and teachers. So a lot of times when you're in a room with somebody and you are feeling their massive energy, this is maybe one of their spirit guides that they have, right? And to me, that is just so fascinating. All right, so the second one is the archetype guides. And this one I wasn't very familiar with. And so this kind of guide is a lot of energy and it's different than you would think, okay? This is almost like your memories from the past. So what it is these are they're symbols, okay? But again, these are a very symbolic representation of something, okay? Something that you have learned in a past life. Maybe you had a different personality, but all these symbols are the exact, very similar through the generations. And I'm going to show you a couple of symbols in just a minute. There's just so many, but they tend to activate identities from previous lives. So if you go to, have a past life regression, these symbols may come up, or you might be drawn to a symbol and you're going, why am I drawn to that particular symbol? And so it might be something from a past life that's trying to tell you and you're trying to remember. Now, why this is important is it because it's a purpose to teach you and guide you along your particular path, okay, and your intentions. And it's almost like it's a group of us too that may be on the same journey together. It's kind of almost like a collective symbols. And a lot of times you'll get that symbol and you go, why do I remember? Why is that so important to me? Right? And so it's a lot of times these are symbols that gather and they're in your subconscious. Now, Carl Jung, okay, he is a psychologist that really tried to connect spiritualism and psychology together. I said it, yes, spiritualism and psychology, which is so fascinating. And so what he did, he said it is only possible to live the fullest life when we're in harmony with these symbols, wisdoms, and return to them. So these are memories that you have in your subconscious, and spiritually they might come to surface. And these may be some memories that are difficult to deal with and that you're having to really deal with so that you can get on your spiritual journey. Now, the one symbol that I really wanted to show you tonight, okay, and this is Carl Jung, and again, and he went to Tibet. And the medallions, he was just so fascinated with the medallions because it shows, a lot of people who have had brain damage, some type of brain injury. Sometimes they'll wake up and they'll have dreams and it will be kind of in a medallion form, in a circle form. And so, which is so fascinating. But this symbol means self, which means yourself, right? So that is one symbol that may show up and you're going, okay, I do recognize that symbol. But again, if you look into it and you do more research on that, there are so many symbols in this world that, have gone from generation to generation. And it is a type of spirit guide because that is your memory. Okay. And we're going to talk about your higher self in just a few minutes. So then we have an ancestral guide. And I love this because a lot of times, and this is what I think I'm used to hearing, is like a loved one may become one of your spirit guides to help you along. And maybe you knew these people from another life, but it's somebody who has actually walked on the earth plane as a human, okay, and then has gone back and they want to, they relate to you in your experience. Of course, they can't interfere at all, but they can kind of help you guide. That's kind of like what I was talking about, a best friend. All right, so the next one is animal guide. And I know a lot of people who know their animal guides, and I think this is fascinating again. So sometimes, and I didn't know this, it can be a deceased animal which you knew in a real life. So if you have a puppy or a cat or any loved animal, and of course, we call them animal companion because it's not really a pet, right? It's more of an animal companion. They can, be your animal guide. And I think that's so fascinating. So most often, animal guides are what the Native American calls a totem. Okay. So now higher self is another one that is very fascinating to me, okay? One that I knew about, but I really want to do more research on it. But this is the energy that is eternal self that is protecting itself through the physical body, okay? That is spiritual guide. It's just a spirit guide which you are an expression of. And what I've heard several different other mediums talk about it is that we're on a different spiritual plane, or there's like one of us, okay, that's the higher self, and then we're in different spiritual planes, right? A lot different dimensions. And so you have your higher self kind of like on a mountain, being able to look at all of your different, I guess it's so hard to explain, different selves though in these different dimensions, and you're able to help guide these different people in these dimensions. So I have a higher self that's guiding me along the way too. And so it's just very fascinating. It's like different pieces of your spiritual spirit is on different dimensions. And then you have your main person that's helping you fulfill all of these journeys so that you can come together and you're learning and you're retrieving all of these different knowledge that you need. So that there again, oh my goodness, so fascinating about that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and hide that, and we're going to go ahead and talk about what guides can actually do. Why should we have them in our lives? Well, it can help with the synchronicities. Okay, the symbols that you keep seeing. And so they're trying to get you on the right pathway, and you're going to start seeing all these different symbols. They can intensify intuition. They can project flashes with intuition. What this means is whenever you ask a question or you don't know an answer to when you're needing guidance, you may not have it immediately, but all of a sudden you'll get all this information at once. It's like comes with a flash and you go, oh, well, okay, there you go. And then they can also help intensify encounters, people, and opportunities. They can send people your way to be on your journey so that to help you on your pathway in your learning. They give you different opportunities. They offer healing if you are sick or you're having a physical ailment. They can help you if you invite them. Okay, they can keep you going on your journey that you have set. But they will not interfere with it unless you ask for help, free will. And of course, you always want to ask for those guides that are higher and light, okay? Love and light to help you along the way. Now, the main, and these are several different questions that I've seen along the way, is how do you connect with your spirit guides? How do I know they're there? And the answer is through meditation, okay? Because you're raising up your frequency, your vibration to reach the spirit guides that you can make a connection. I also saw that you can do automatic writing where you ask a question to your spirit guide, and then whatever you hear in your mind, you just go ahead and write. Okay, that's the same thing as like an art or anything else. And so you're just kind of guided to do it. Now, I know that a lot of people and a lot of mediumship classes that I've been through, they're going, but I want to know the name of my spirit guides. I want to know who they are. I want to know their names. And sometimes, especially in the beginning of your spiritual journey, you may not hear the names. And what I've been told is go ahead, if you feel like a name is important to you and you can feel the different energies, go ahead and you can give them a name. And if, by goodness, if they don't like that name, they will tell you their name and say, no, I don't want to be called that. I don't want to be called that name. This is my name. But you know what? You got to think of it this way as well. When you're talking about spirits, humans, that's how we identify with each other, right? Is through names. That's our identity. But whenever you pass over, you cross over, names are not important anymore, right? It's your energy. It is your soul. And especially if you've lived different lifetimes, you may have different names. So if you don't come up with, or you don't hear a name, then you can come up with a name. And just for your sake, whenever you're talking to them, at least you can identify with them then. If something pops in, don't have any judgment in it. Just go with that name. And as I understand, your spirit guides also change. So whatever you're trying to learn, you may have a different spirit guide that comes in and helps you learn through this process, and then somebody else may step in, okay? And then you may also have a couple spirit guides that will stay with you for your whole entire life. All right. And so, I just think it's very fascinating that the divine gives you this help. Now, the way that they can also communicate with you, and there are different things I'm going to kind of go through on my list of, sometimes they'll communicate with you in different ways, and everybody is different. So if I say there's a certain way that they'll communicate with you and you go, well, they never communicated to me that way, then maybe, you'll communicate with your spirit guide a whole different way. So one way is through vivid dreams. Whenever you're having visions, and the door is beginning to open, sometimes they'll communicate that way. Now, a lot of this also, loved ones will communicate with you as well. But how do you not know they're your type of guide as well? So you don't know, right? All right. So then, random, oh, I love this, random electrical interference. Okay, so sometimes lights will start flickering, your technology will stop working, your batteries will be drained. This will happen especially whenever, because they use that energy sometimes to communicate with you, right? And so sometimes you'll have some electrical interference. So higher levels of intuition, you'll hear a telepathic voice, and or you'll feel this gut feeling. Look at the clairs. So whatever your strong is, sometimes that's how they'll communicate with you, right? Sometimes you'll have spiritual chills. Oh my goodness, I'll be in a room and I'll be thinking about something, and then all of a sudden I'll get these chills, and it will be, okay, I think I just got my answer, right? So yeah, that's a lot of times is what they're doing is they're kind of getting into your aura, and they're kind of touching it, and that's what you're feeling whenever you get those chills. Sometimes there'll be a sudden spiritual scent. You'll start smelling something like flowers, or now I know that whenever someone crosses over, you'll smell a cigarette smoke, because that person smoked. But with spirit guides, it's more of a higher sense, okay, if that makes, like flowers and so forth. Sometimes you'll have that phantom touch. You'll feel like somebody touched you on the shoulder. You'll hear music, which that in your mind, in your third eye, and you'll hear that. And sometimes you'll be thinking about something, and all of a sudden you'll hear the music play that answers your question. I love this. I have not had this happen to me, and I think I would love it. So hopefully mine are listening. So white feathers, when you start, like when you're walking outside in nature, all of a sudden you start seeing all these white feathers. That's another way. And I did not realize, but the symbol for feathers is they're giving you a blessing. So sometimes they're not giving you an answer, but sometimes they're just letting you know, hey, I am here. Sometimes orbs, okay? Sometimes you'll see like a light orb. And I have not seen an orb yet, but I know that some people that can. And then sometimes you just feel, and I get this a lot, sometimes I just know that they're there. And sometimes you're feeling like you're guided to do something. All right, so let me know if you have any questions about this, or if you want to express something, you want to share something, maybe a connection that your guide has connected with you in a certain way, or if you have a name of your guide, let me know, because I think, again, this is just a very fascinating thing. I know we talked about angels last week. And so I thought, well, we can't talk about angels without talking about spirit guides, because really, I mean, this is all spiritual and it all comes together, and we have all this guidance to help us along the way. But you do have to remember that you do have free will. So they cannot interfere with what you need to learn in your life journey. All right, so I'm going to just give it a few minutes because I know there is a delay. And again, I'm so sorry about the technology. Who knows? Maybe my spirit guide's telling me you need to come on later. Maybe 6 o'clock is not working. I don't know, but this is like the week 2 that this has happened for this particular show. So, things happen for a reason. All right, I don't think I'm getting any more comments or anything else. But again, if you're watching this, after it goes off there and it's not live, and you want to share a moment with everybody, please do, or ask a question, because what you may want to know more about, somebody else may want to hear more about. Okay, so I hope that everybody has a wonderful week, and I hope you learned something about spirit guides. And again, it is just a fascinating topic. I mean, we could again talk about this all week if we wanted to, and do all the research, right? All right, so everybody have a great week. And hopefully I will see you on Monday. I'll hopefully be at a hotel whenever I come on next Monday, and I will show you around this hotel. So for the Wine and Spirit show, but we'll see what Spirit has in store, right?